I and all those that I represent benefited from his love and his warmth, both during his time practicing medicine in Seattle and through his brilliant daughter and my staffer, our family member here on the Judiciary Committee, Elise Phillips. My heart goes out to all of the families of the 4 people that were killed in the community in Tulsa that still grieves. This is not an isolated incident. The people that are in this room are proof of that. And they are populated in districts across this country. And in the aftermath of these shootings, in the aftermath of the children who have to be identified by DNA in Uvalde, in the aftermath of Parkland, of every single mass shooting event that has happened, we feel rage. We feel rage because we're not prioritizing the lives of people, our right to live. The rage that I feel that in just 3 hours, a person can buy an assault weapon and commit a mass shooting while conservative Republicans look the other way. Today, I dare my Republican colleagues to stop looking away. Stop ignoring the tragedy that is faced by people across this country. Stop ignoring the tragedy of your own constituents who have lost loved ones and family members in shootings with assault weapons. Stop ignoring the shooting in Clackamas, Oregon in 2012 that killed 2 people with an AR-15. The shooting with an assault weapon in Dayton in 2019 that killed 9 people and injured 17. The shooting in Marathon County, Wisconsin in 2017 with an assault weapon that killed 4 people. These are all in Republican colleagues' districts. It is our duty to stop these killings. And the assault weapons ban will prevent mass shootings like the ones that our districts, our friends, our families have faced by prohibiting the possession, the manufacture, the transfer, or the sale of assault weapons. And it is shameful to resist or even hesitate to take action to stop the use of these weapons of war in mass shootings of civilians. So for every person who says, I have a right to defend, I say to you, we have a right to live. And your right to defend with a weapon of war does not obliterate our right to live. That is the core of why we must pass this bill. And I thank my colleague, Mr. Cicilline, for all of his work on this. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlelady yields back. For what purposes Mr. Steube seek recognition?
Move to strike the last word, Mr. Chair.
Gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I would yield to a member on the Democratic side that served in a combat area designated zone and deployment of our country. Anybody in the Democratic side?
Mr. Steube, what's the purpose of the question? My father, no, let me finish. Let me finish.
Because I'm going to make a point and you're taking my time. So I will yield to any member who
because
deployed.
I'm offended at your suggestion that somehow if we've not served in a combat zone that we don't care about protecting the lives of our constituents.
Has nothing to do about how you
to me. And for
I
our family members who have lost blood, they should be respected.
Reclaiming my time. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like 40 seconds
I've seen my constituents die in battle.
It's Mr. Steube's time. Gentleman is recognized.
And I will ask for 40 additional seconds that I was taken. Okay, so I served in Operation Iraqi Freedom. I served in the Army, and there's a lot of talk in Washington about weapons of war. And my purpose of yielding to one of my colleagues who may have served was to ask them a specific question of what type of firearm were you issued when you were deployed? And the answer to that question is a true what would be defined as a weapon actually used in war, has a selector switch on it for fully automatic, 3-round burst, and semi-automatic. So when I deployed in 2006 in Operation Iraqi Freedom, we were issued M4s in the United States Army. Those M4s had a selector switch on them. Those selector switch allow you to have fully automatic, 3-round burst, or semi-automatic. Those firearms are not allowed for purchase in the United States today. So this cascading of weapons of war, what I was issued, and again, I would ask any person that served in a deployed environment, you are issued weapons that allow for fully automatic and 3-round burst. That is not available for purchase in the United States, and that is not what the Democrats are attempting to ban today because that's already banned. What we're talking about is a semi-automatic rifle that only is used in a semi-automatic form. So behind me is a typical AR platform weapon, and you can't see it because it's on this side, not the other side, that has a selector switch on it. That selector switch is only for fire or not fire, safe or not safe, and that is for a semi-matic operation of the weapon, which means every time I depress the trigger, a round comes out of the firearm. All right, next slide, and just move it over. This is the most popular handgun in the United States that was purchased is the Glock 19. It functions in exactly the same way as this rifle. It's a semi-automatic, just like that's a semi-automatic. The rifles not available for purchase don't have a selector switch for 3-round bursts or fully auto. This is a semi-automatic handgun. As quick as I depress the trigger of this Glock 19, a round comes out of the chamber. The functionality between that weapon and this weapon are exactly identical. There is no difference. So you're banning a class of weapons that you don't like the look of, not because of functionality, not because of how fast a round comes out of the weapon, just because you don't like the way that they look, because they function exactly the same. Now move this one over one. So now this is a Glock 19. Glock 19 comes with a 15-round magazine, which under this bill is legal, although it's interesting that a couple weeks ago you banned 10-round magazines and then you changed it to a 15-round magazine. It's interesting to understand the thought process there, but that is for another time. This is a 6-hour P320, which some of you probably saw in one of the hearings on the magazine bans. I showed my P320. This comes with a 20-round magazine. So under this bill, because it has a 15-round magazine ban, this gun would be banned because you wouldn't be able to use it. Again, it functions exactly the same as that gun. It functions exactly the same. As fast as you depress the trigger is as fast as a round comes out. So now the next one. So that gun would be banned. That would be okay because you can put a 15-round magazine in it. This is a lever action. Under this bill, lever actions apparently are okay, but semi-automatic AR platform rifles are not okay. So we're going to discriminate against the type of firearms that we're going to use, despite the fact that the functionality is the same. The only difference here is after you depress the trigger and a round comes out, you have to reload using the lever action, which saves you maybe half of a second. The next one, which is also legal, is a tubular. This is a tubular 22, which, again, and Mr. Massey did a good job of highlighting how ridiculous the calibers of the bullets are. The Democratic majority is discriminating against some of the most popular weapons in the United States simply because they don't like the way they look, not because of the way they function. And there are so many Americans that are confused when they see the semi-automatic rifle that the Democrats want to ban as being fully automatic. It's not. You can't purchase that. It's illegal. It is not a weapon of war. A weapon of war has a fully automatic switch or a 3-round burst. I yield back the remainder of my time.